Someone sent me a video of little Jeff ranking quad exercises. And I thought, that's an interesting video idea. He did a great job, but also it sucked. Because in my experience, it's not just what exercise you do that matters, it's how you do them. For example, take sissy squats. If you do them the way that most people do, which is leaning too far forward, increasing hip flexion angle, then you have a shriveled to the left little d of an exercise. If you maintain an upright posture the entire time, congratulations, you've graduated to a C. Add weight to that, solid B. But if you lean back as you ascend, shifting the center of gravity, the contraction throughout the quadriceps uniformly intensifies throughout the entire range of motion. It's a 10, fucking 10. So not only are we gonna rank exercises, but I'm gonna show you how to take ones that are inherently a dumpster fire and turn them into ones that are not actually that bad. Let's go. Jesus Christ. So this is what I use to judge the effectiveness of quad exercises that I call the triangle of death. Number one, how well does it isolate the quadricep muscles? Second, how much does it allow you to put them under load at length? The length is the important part. And finally, is this the most biomechanically effective version of the exercise that we can do? So let's start out with a little bit of a controversial one, the squat. Because for me, it's a C. And I know, before you get your Fruit of the Looms all bunched up between your butt cheeks, let me explain why. They're a great exercise in terms of overall leg development. I know people like to play the game. If you only had one exercise for legs, what would you do? Most people choose squat. I myself would probably choose walking weighted lunges, but that's beside the point. It's a dumb game. If you look at the research, you'll see that squats are almost as effective at building your glutes as they are your quads. Hell, this study using a population of well-trained women showed that squats elicited more glute growth than hip thrust. That is wild. The reason this is such a good exercise at targeting both glutes and quads is because there's an even distribution of load across the hip and knee joints. This is due to the equal length of the moment arms at each of those joints. So if we want to target the quadriceps more, we need to look for ways to increase the moment arm of the knee. That's actually pretty easy to do. All we have to do is elevate our heels, create more of an upright posture, and drive our knees out over our toes and turn this C exercise into a solid B. Hooray! Based upon what you learned so far, you can probably guess how I'm going to rank the Smith squat. The fact that the line of force is on a fixed track allows us to manipulate the knee moment arm as much as we want. This is an A. This is a goddamn A. And you only need one minor adjustment to take this to the S tier, the smegma tier. That's elevating your heels, because most people don't have the tibialis anterior strength because they never train them, or even just the overall ankle mobility and can't push those knees out over their toes. So with just a little bit of elevation, takes this right to the S tier. And you don't even need wedges. You can just grab 10s. That's enough. For a lot of people, the leg press is a goated exercise because of how powerful they feel when they do it. But the reason you feel so powerful is because it's perfectly angled to load your hips. So for me, it's a C. And counter to popular belief, including my younger self, the width of your stance does nothing in terms of how it targets your quads. Just the wider you go brings in more adductors. The real game changer is how low you can position your feet. I will actually walk my feet all the way down until I'm just pushing through my toes. As you can see, we've now changed it from a very hip-dominant exercise to the most painful stretch you can possibly have on your quads. Welcome to the Dirty Sanchez tier. And before you say, oh my God, that's so bad for your feet, are people going to be able to understand what I just said? Did I go too short bus? That was too short bus. Those 26 bones in each foot are highly supported. The plantar fascia, which is that fibrous connective tissue that runs the bottom of your foot, has a tensile strength of 7,000 pounds per square inch. That's right up there with concrete. You're done. Some of the best quad exercises require specialty equipment that I don't have. So we're going to have to venture out into the world that's full of obnoxious people. Pendulum squats are a near perfect exercise because they're hard to screw up. Everybody I've forced to do these against their will has thanked me afterwards. That means it could be your first day in the gym, you have no idea what you're doing, you walk up, get on the exercise, S tier. That doesn't mean, however, we can't make them even better. As you start to walk your feet down, you can see it increases the stretch on those quads. And I know some people are gonna freak out. Oh my God, it's so bad for your knees. Most of the shearing force from any type of squat happens from 60 to 90 degrees. Anything lower than that is compressive forces, and as long as you don't have a pre-existing injury, you're fine. Come on, grow a pair. My favorite way to do these, which is, again, not for the faint of heart, is to walk my feet down to the bottom, lift my heels up, and stretch the shit out of my quads. It's glorious. Another beautifully designed piece of equipment is the belt squat. It tries to counteract the fact that most people can't maintain a neutral spine when they squat, either because they have weak glutes or rectus spinae muscles. Whatever the reason, their butthole winks at fellow gym members. The only issue is that based on the angle of pull, it promotes you sitting back into your hips as you descend, which we know is gonna lengthen the moment arm of your hip. We don't want that. So it's in the B category for me. But again, we can make this an S tier exercise very simply by just walking our feet closer together and up a little bit, maintaining a straight posture. And if you want to get really crazy, throwing something under your heels. It is the most painful version of a sissy squat you will ever do. What's another Urban Dictionary S term? Hold on. Gross terms from the Urban Dictionary that start with S.
Here are some gross or explicit terms from Urban Dictionary that start with the letter S. Smeg. A slang term used as a vulgar substitute for expletives like fuck, smegma. The natural lubrication produced by the genitalia. Scat refers to feces, but in slang it can also refer to sexual activities involving feces, which many find repulsive. These terms are often considered effective.
The scat tier. The hack squat for me for a long time was my favorite quad exercise. It's since been surpassed, and I'll go over which exercise that is at the end of this video, but if you look at it from the side, you can see why, based upon everything we've already talked about, moment arms, all that stuff, any way you do this exercise, it's phenomenal. S. If I want to move a significant amount of weight and finish off my legs at the end of a workout, I will take the typical stance of a little wider than shoulder width and hurt myself that way. If I want to isolate it down to just my quads, I will walk my feet down nice and low, turn those toes slightly out. And if I want to go full reckless abandonment, I will walk my feet all the way down, get on my toes, and do the Tom Platt style of hack squat. It hurts so bad. Now, the leg extension is a tricky exercise to rank because some of the machines are great and some are awful. And I've heard this said many times, that if you just put the seat back, now you're gonna decrease the angle of your hips, put more of a stretch on your quads, but at that point, we're just making out for a poorly designed piece of equipment. Really good leg extensions give you so much knee flexion that it's just painful to sit in the exercise. That's what we want. So if your leg extension, when you're fully stretched, feels like you're at 90 degrees, then you have a C tier leg extension. But if it stretches the shit out of your quads just sitting here, it's an A. This fucking thing is an A. Holy shit. Let's finish up by going over my number one quad exercise. And it becomes pretty obvious when you see how much you can put your quad at length, overload it, don't have to worry about too many stabilizing muscles, don't have to balance, and you can really just focus on one quad at a time. The heel elevated quad dominant Bulgarian Smith split squat, or better known as motherfucking son of fuck. As long as you maintain an upright posture and drive that knee way out over your toes, you won't find a better exercise. Oh God. But most importantly, the new program is live. I originally built this for people who had limited time. I don't know, they had a litter of kids, or maybe their wife didn't let them outside for extended periods of time. But the amount of research and pain I built into this one program, I have to say this could be the best program yet. It's so good that even if you're not limited by time, I guarantee it's better than whatever stupid workout you're doing now. Every single set has some sort of advanced training technique that makes you die a little bit more inside, and obviously puts on muscle. And again, as always, it's only 20 bucks. One time I spent 20 bucks on a lap dance from a lady at Dream Palace who must have got her boobs done a few weeks before because she had to stop halfway through because it gave me a bloody nose. It was like motorboating 2 kettlebells. I mean, I'd do it again, but it's a 30-day program with a 4-day split, and each workout takes anywhere from 28 to 32 minutes, depending on how slow you shuffle across the gym. And again, it's only 20 bucks, so get f***ing after it.